Hi guys, it's me, Saskia. So, I've not posted a YouTube video or even thought about filming one in a very long time. Pretty much since the last one I filmed, because I didn't really know what I wanted to put out on here, because my fashion inspiration and all that is on my Instagram, and on TikTok I do pretty much a bit of everything. I have some outfit videos that are just showcasing what I'm wearing that day, but most of it are songs or just enjoying TikTok sounds because some of them are hilarious. So it took me a while to figure out what I wanted to put out here, but then I realised that I have subcategories on my Instagram such as mental health and sustainability and veganism, and I was going to start a blog, and I posted like one article on it, but then the blog website I was using told me I needed a subscription and all of that. So I decided everything I was going to write about on my blog I would put out on here, because I talk a lot better than I write about non-fiction subjects, and putting knowledge and advice out there into the world happens a lot better when I'm speaking. I'm not sure why. So that's what I'm going to do today. My first topic is going to be what I already wrote the article about, but the article's now disappeared. So it is sustainability in the fashion industry, because as you've probably heard a lot everywhere now is about fast fashion and how it's damaging and all of that stuff. So I'm going to go into more information and more detail, but hopefully in simple terms, so that you can actually understand what all those professional articles are telling you about without getting so confused. Or maybe you aren't confused, but you just want to know a little bit more and my personal take on it and how I think you can help, because I fully accept that buying sustainable clothes is a bit more expensive than what we're used to now, but that's because it's good and it's charging for the effort and the work and time that was put into actually making that item, whereas mass-produced items like on Shein or in Primark, the prices do not reflect the work that was put into them and the conditions that those workers are working in are so low so that they don't have to pay them as much. So that is why fast fashion is so bad. So I'm just going to tell you about that, and hopefully I don't ramble, and even if I do, I can edit it out. But hopefully I get my points across and this video doesn't last an hour. So first off, what is fast fashion? So fast fashion is determined as a highly profitable business model based on replicating catwalk trends and high fashion designs and then mass producing them at a low cost. So this is brands like Shein, Primark, Pretty Little Thing, Zara, Boohoo and Topshop. I don't know if anyone else has seen this, because I am on sustainable fashion TikTok at this point. There's so many different types of TikTok. But I'm on that, and I see videos where people are stitching people's Shein hauls where they've spent like 100 or like $1,000 at Shein and got masses loads of products. And yeah, for that video that's going to be entertaining and you're going to get a bunch of different outfits, but you don't need that. And if you do use all of that, you're only going to wear it like once because you have that many clothes. that you're going to wear it once and never touch it again. And that is a waste, which is what's so bad about fast fashion. There's lots of effects it has on the planet, but what I think is one of the biggest ones is the amount of waste that it produces, whether that be during actual production, obviously, because you just get fabric in like this big square sheet that isn't all used, so it's wasted and just put into a bin, and then all of that fabric goes to landfill because it's not biodegradable. It can't be, used again. Well, it can be, but nobody really wants to. They don't try. So, and if it is the actual item of clothing, people throw clothes away like nobody's business. It is ridiculous. I always thought that it was something everybody did, but all my old clothes go to charity, or sometimes I try and sell them. And my sister's old clothes come to me, even my brother's old clothes, because I love making outfits out of like big shirts and men's clothing because they look cool. So I get secondhand clothes naturally. It just happens because I'm the youngest child. That's what happens. And I thought it was normal, but after researching, I realized so many people throw away all of their clothes and they don't give it to charity or anything, and that all ends up in landfill. And if you don't know the negative effects of landfill, I will tell you. So, landfill. If you don't know what landfill is, it is basically just a big mountain of waste. That's my best and easiest way to explain it. So basically anything that can't be recycled or crushed, I think. I'm not sure if they do the crushing in landfill. But definitely anything that can't be recycled goes to landfill and just basically sits there, which is bad for a lot of reasons. So landfill produces methane, which is a greenhouse gas, and greenhouse gases contribute to our atmosphere. So what they do is they absorb the heat from the sun. But if we have too much of that, then we absorb too much heat, which is what causes global warming, which we all know is bad. There are lots of other issues that fast fashion causes, such as its use of energy. It uses massive amounts of energy all the time. And the microfibers that make up our clothes go into the ocean and damage marine life. Water pollution, so the water waste that has chemicals from dye in it and all of that other stuff gets put straight into rivers in some countries that mass produce our clothes, which causes damage to both us and more marine life, because those rivers run into the oceans, we get water from those rivers, all of that. Rainforest destruction, which damages habitats for so many animal life. The rainforest is a habitat for over 50% of all species on the planet. So damaging that habitat damages the lives of more than 50% of our animal life. And we use up non-renewable resources for the making of clothes, which, as in the title, we can't get back once we've used, and we rely on those resources for a lot of aspects of life. Our electricity, a lot of it comes from non-renewable sources. recently we have been working towards using more renewable ones like wind power energy or water energy, but not everybody uses that yet. So using it up to make our clothes is taking it away from stuff that, in most people's opinion, we need a lot more than clothes. But there is ways to fix this for you personally to help get into that right step. I mean, straight away, if we stop buying as many clothes from companies who are not sustainable and are not making any effort to be sustainable, they will start to realize that they need to rethink their business strategy. They need to start working towards, being sustainable. Because if we start buying from sustainable brands and more people buy from those brands than they do from brands like Shein and Primark and all that nonsense, those brands will start thinking, hang on, they're getting all the attention. We might need to be more like them. But you also have to watch out for greenwashing. I'll get into that later. But for you, your simplest choices are to just look at the materials you're buying, look at the different brands. It's not about every brand being perfect, okay? They just need to be making steps towards it. So if maybe not all of their products use sustainable fabrics, but they have a sustainable process, that is a step towards good. And that means that you can buy from that brand if you so wish. Obviously, it's all up to you where you buy your products from, but in my opinion, it is so much better for us to try buying from, better brands, nicer brands, sustainable brands that care for the planet. So, what can you do to make a difference? Well, to start, it's all about what fabrics. So if you choose organic fabrics, like organic cotton, not regular cotton because that is awful, but organic cotton. I recently learned about a new fabric called Tencel. It's basically like silk, but a sustainable version, and I so want some bedding out of it because it looks so soft and so comfy. But anyway, choose clothes made in countries with stricter environmental regulations, like the UK, America, basically places that do not throw their waste into a river. Choose natural or semi-synthetic fabrics. These will not only last longer, but when they do break or go bad, or we get rid of them, they won't harm the planet because they will biodegrade, and they will just be nicer in general. Choose fibers that have a low water consumption, such as linen, because then the use of water and the water waste will slim. Recycled fabrics, honestly, so good. You don't need to buy, if you're making the clothes or even if you're just buying them, you don't need brand new fabric all the time. Recycled fabric is just as good, maybe even better, because not only is it great quality, it does not harm the planet. And if you buy less and buy better quality, you're on your way already. And if you mend your clothes, right? I used to think it was so difficult to mend clothes. I mean, if you get a hole that's like in the middle of your trouser, it is difficult. But if it's jeans, turn them into ripped jeans. People used to do that all the time anyway. Sometimes it never went well, but at least you tried. But if you get a hole in a seam, it's so easy to restitch it. Just Google how to fix it, and you find tutorials like everywhere. And recycle. Give clothes to charity. Give them to your younger siblings, or older if they're the same size as you. Don't matter. And I guarantee you, clothes that have been worn before are no less cute and satisfying as brand new clothes. I remember recently my mum and dad got all of their old clothes down from the loft, right? In these nice bin bags. Massive bin bags full of old clothes from like the 80s and the 90s. And at first I thought they were going to be like awful because the 80s, colourful time. Colourful. But some of them, gorgeous. I've got like 5 new items. And they make amazing outfits. And some of them are designer because designers have I can't remember what it was called. It's like either on the rack or in the closet section that is a little bit cheaper. Obviously still expensive because it's a designer. But, and I've got some really cute clothes out of it. So recycle, or just don't throw things away when you've worn it once. This wear once culture that's come about from Instagram is honestly shameful. And I didn't even realise it was a thing until recently, because people will buy a piece of clothing and as soon as they've taken a photo wearing it, they will never wear it again because they've been seen in it and they can't be seen in it again, which I think is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like, fair enough, don't wear it every day for like a week. That's not only dirty, but you don't have to wear something every day for it to be worth it. You know, wear it, but wear it more than once. For the love of God, wear your clothing more than once. Because you obviously bought that item because you thought it was cute, you thought it looked great, and you thought it would look great on you. And it does. It most definitely does. So therefore, wear it again and again and again until, you know, it don't look good anymore. Not that it ever will, but that's my point. It is just so important to try and work for sustainability. Now, obviously, spotting a sustainable brand is hard, and there is a lot of greenwashing going on now. Take H&M for example. Recently, they have done a sustainable range, which, first off, if you care about not buying from a brand that's not sustainable and not just the clothing items, that's not going to work because the brand itself is not sustainable. Therefore, its sustainable range will not be sustainable because it's how the brand runs itself. So I've not done full-blown research into specific brands because I don't buy from most of them. My only issue that I used to buy a lot from was Shein, and I just stopped buying from them completely. But H&M, in short terms, I've heard about how they treat their workers and all of that. That is what makes something sustainable and ethical and just everything. So how do you spot a sustainable brand? There is a set of questions you can ask about a brand, either to the brand themselves, if you're that daring, or just as you're looking through their website. Okay? What materials do they use? Is it vegan? Is it cruelty-free? Is it, plastic-free? look at the materials they use, research what are sustainable materials, what's biodegradable, what's good for the planet, and if you can't find that material in that store, don't shop. How do they treat their workers? Do they have fair wages? Do they have good hours? Or are they working non-stop in sweatshops? Is there child labour involved? You have to think about how they treat the workers that make the products you are wearing. Do they use resources carefully? So do they source from local places? Small businesses guarantee they do this. Well, not always, but it's highly likely that a small business will shop for their fabrics in their own city or country. Not only because shipping costs are cheaper, but it's just so much easier for them to maybe even walk to a fabric shop, depending on how close they are. Is it toxic free? Does it use chemicals that are damaging to not only us, but to just life in general? Closed loop systems. Okay, this most amazing thing ever. A closed loop system basically means that they source a product or fabric, they make a clothing, they sell the clothing, and then the clothing comes back to them and it is recycled, it's reused, and any waste fabric is used to make other products. So they have a slim waste production. They are amazing, honestly. What's their packaging like? Now, I know it's hard currently to get plastic-free packaging, especially for small businesses that can't afford to buy massive amounts of proper good fabric. But can that plastic be recyclable, or is it a biodegradable alternative? Yeah. What is the plastic made of? Where will that plastic go once you have opened your package? Think about it. Do they support a charity? Now, this obviously not fully to do with sustainability in general, but it's a good thing, because if a brand hasn't fully got to being 100% sustainable, but their profits are used to support a charity, or the waste that they make is used to, I don't know, turn into blankets, for example, for a homeless charity or whatever, it is a good cause that they are supporting, which makes them a bit more ethical and just nicer people in general. A sustainable brand should be transparent. You should be able to see where they get their fabric from, how that is then produced, and how it's transported, what their shipping is like. You should be able to see or ask about anything, and they should tell you an honest answer. That is a good sign. That's why I like small businesses, because most of the time, small businesses are all handmade. It's made by 1 or 2 people alone, and they know exactly where their fabric's coming from. They know how it's being made because they're making it themselves, and they're selling it themselves, and packaging it themselves, taking it to the post office. You know, small businesses can track every move their fabric makes. And so should these big brands, these mass producing labels, should also know where everything's going from. But they tend to not care. They tend to not look. And if you ask them, they won't give you a straight answer. And do they have an aftercare service? Now, not everywhere has this because it is hard to maintain, I guess, but they should tell you how to care for their clothing or their products. So things like, can it be washed at certain temperatures? Does it need dry cleaning? You know, all of these things. How do you care for those clothes to make them last longer? Because if you can't care for them right, they're not going to last very long, and that just goes back to being waste. And do they offer repairs? Can you send back an item that's been damaged, got a hole in it, ripped, whatever, and they can fix it? Do they offer that? Not everywhere will, and that's okay because, you know, it's time consuming, but if they offer it, perfect. Okay. In simple terms, a sustainable brand should not focus solely on producing items. Okay? They should be invested in making their clothing last and do as little damage to the environment as possible. That is what is important. Not everyone can be perfect in how they make clothing because certain opportunities, privileges, standards cannot be lived up to by everyone, because whether it be a money issue or a profit issue, you know, things cannot be controlled like that. That's not always 100%, but it's about the effort that company is putting into making their brand better. Currently, Shein doing nothing. They are just creating more products and more products all the time to fit in with all these trends. And you know what has been bugging me recently? A trend that has come about of these cute, I at least think it's a trend, I think they're adorable, these cute crochet tops that are halter tops. They're so cute, and they wrap and all that stuff, and they're crocheted, knitted, whatever, but they look adorable. But now fast fashion brands are mass producing them, when that, as far as I believe, that trend was started by small businesses who hand make their products. And now all of that credit and that time is getting taken away by fast fashion brands who are mass producing them and selling them for like a $5. It's not worth it. So just a quick fact about which fibers and fabrics are good. Recycled fabrics, recycled polyester, recycled nylon, cotton, wool, textile. If it's recycled, that's a good start anyway. But plant-based fibers are what is great. So organic cotton, specifically organic. Linen, hemp, ramie, I'm not entirely sure what that is, and natural rubber are all plant-based fibers, and they are not damaging to the environment. And like I mentioned before, tencel, that is made mostly from trees. Now obviously trees are important in keeping our environment safe, but if you plant a new tree, does it matter? That is another thing that I would like to share. If you go over to my Instagram, you will see in my bio, it contains the phrase a climate positive account, and that is because our usage of Instagram and social networks do have an impact on the environment and carbon emissions, which I didn't know about until recently at all. And I decided to find a page that helped this. So Carbon Fingerprint on Instagram, go look at their account. They have helped me make my account climate positive. So what they do is you can apply in their, message them, and they will give you a link to fill in your engagement details, your following, the amount of times you post a day, week, month, and they will calculate how many trees you need to plant a month to counteract your usage, and they will do that for you at a price, obviously. My plan is currently at 10 trees a month. If you are under 10k, you don't get a badge. They can give you a highlight badge if you have over 10k, and you can put that in your highlights to once again show that you are a climate positive account. Honestly, I ask you all to do this while we're on the subject of sustainability and caring for the environment. That's all I've really got to say. Just my advice to you is you don't have to fix everything all at once. Take small steps, whether that be stopping buying things fully for now until you figure out where you can shop from that is sustainable and good for the environment, or if it's just buying less or just buying secondhand. Small baby steps is all that matters at this point, and sharing what you have found with other people, like I am doing right now. Also on my Instagram, I have a sustainability highlight. Go check that out. My Instagram will be in the description. Go check it out because I put on sustainable brands I find on Instagram every now and again into that highlight, and little quick fact posts are put there that help sum up different parts of things that I learn and what I've talked about in this video, as well as just any accounts that I think will help you understand sustainability and fast fashion fully so that you can start making a change. So that is all. Hopefully I will be making more content now that I know what I want to do. So subscribe to find that out, and go follow my Instagram for fashion inspo and sustainable fashion advice that you can find straight away. Bye.